Hey everyone, it's Dr. Barden here. I'm just going to go real quick through what I'm expecting for this upcoming MIDI assignment after we talk in class about what MIDI is and how you use it and why it's a useful tool. So let's just get right into it. I've got a GarageBand session in front of me right now. I just made an empty session and it popped up with the new tracks selection right here. So I'm going to make some MIDI software instruments. Under the details, nothing really happening here, so we're just going to leave it as default, and I'm going to hit create. And this will create a track with an instrument right here. Can be kind of whatever you want it to be. For this assignment, I don't really care about the sounds that we're using, but you do need to come up with 6 total different sounds to use. Again, I keep thinking I have all of these downloaded, but it keeps saying it's not there. So I don't know why it can't find all my sounds. I'll get that sorted out on a different point. But just to briefly iterate what you need to do for this assignment, you need to make a total of 6 tracks. And you can either do 3 at a time or just make all 6 at once. It doesn't really matter to me on that one. But to do that, I'm going to go over to this little plus button, click add tracks, and we can 2, 3, and so on. You can also right click and do new software instrument track, which would be Option Command S as well. If we just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is the total that we will need. So once you have those set up, we can go in, and if we click right click or control click if you don't have a mouse that can click everything on the right side, control click and say create MIDI region, and we'll have that there. If you want to, you can hold down Option and click and drag to just copy this to each track, so that way there's at least a region there to work with. You're going to need one for each track. Once we're there, if you double click on that, you can actually see the region down here at the bottom, and we can make it as big as we need it to be. So if you click up here on the end, and you'll see on the bottom half, excuse me, there's this little icon where it looks like 2 arrows. That's where you can make them longer or shorter. And we just click and drag to however long you need it to be. I'm just going to make it 4 measures for the sake of this video, but for the assignment, I'm looking for at least 30 seconds of audio for this part. And you can set that up however you want. I think 30 seconds at 120 BPM, that would be 60 beats, 60 divided by 4. We're thinking somewhere around the 24 measure mark, give or take a little bit. So again, just to make this video not be super long, I'm making this shorter. Just yours should probably be about that long at the very least, and I'll zoom out just to make that illustrated, a little more visual. So if I click and drag to select, I can make, if my mouse would let me do it, there we go, I can make all of them that long. But for right now, I'm just going to make this shorter, just so that way I'm not spending forever doing everything. So what I want you all to do is to go in and record some sounds. It can be whatever you really want it to be. I'm going to just pick like a bass, a melody, and something else. This is not going to be a super creative composition here. So you can go in and click in here, create notes to add them in that way. That can take a while. If I just delete that, what we can do instead is select our track when we're here, and we'll just start recording here. And that's it. I recorded my wonderful little section. It wasn't perfect, but we got the idea. I just did a little C major scale going down. It was a really high octave, though. I didn't quite realize that. Let me adjust that on my MIDI controller. We can select these notes by right click. We can adjust some articulations, things like that. But we can also, by selecting all of them, move them down and I want it to start on C4, and we'll go right at the beginning of the clips, just to start by getting them lined up. You can see they're already a little bit better, but some of them aren't quite lined up how we want them to be. So we can actually select all of them. They already are selected. And if we come right over here, we have some things that we can adjust for all of them. That being the quantization and the velocity. So this velocity, the bigger the number, the louder it is. So if I make it bigger, I don't know, I'm just going to say like 37, who knows there. But for this quantization here, we can select exactly how we want it to line up. I'm going to keep it at the 16th note for now, but if I hit this Q, boom, it moves the notes to the closest 16th note on this grid. So each of these little vertical squares is a grid. So I'm just going to check to make sure this is actually playing so you can hear it. I think there's some sound going there. But there, that is the clip as it sits. I'm going to actually make this 4 measures instead of 5, just to line up right there. And then we'll make all, nope. Where'd it go? There they went. I'm going to make all of these be right about half a measure long, just so we get that, again, descending pattern and we don't leave off from things there. So that's how we can, record the notes and quantize them. You need to do this for 3 of your tracks, okay? So that first 3, that's why I mentioned you can pick 3 at a time, but these first 3, you need to record 3 different parts. I don't really care what they are. It could be, like a bass, a melody, maybe a harmony, or some other third thing. I really don't care, as long as you have 3 unique, different melody bits. For this one, I'm going to just select that track, go to the beginning, start recording. And we'll stop there. Again, same kind of thing. This one, because I stopped recording later, that's why it went a little bit long, but right here, hit that note a little extra there. So I'm just going to nudge this. And just gonna do a little bit of tweaking, make sure that they're all right, but we'll start by selecting them all, hit that quantize to line them up so this beginning of the note is where we want it. And again, we can nudge it as needed manually because the quantization is not always perfect. There we are. So there's that one. And then I'll select all, and I'm just going to crank up this velocity a bit just so we can actually hear a bit of what's going on. And then this last third one, same idea. Again, nothing super fancy, but I don't know. I was just messing around on my keyboard. I'm not going to adjust the lengths of these notes, but I will, this track down here, select all of them. I will make them all a bit louder and quantize it, and we'll just make that be what we have. So I've got these instructions right here. And actually, I've decided I don't need these here on these 3 tracks. Now, we got to make some sounds for them. So I'm going to leave the electric piano right here, but let's change it up. Maybe I'll look at what do we have on this side? Do I have any bass sounds? I do have some bass. Let's go upright studio bass. Why not? We'll do that there. I'll double click because if it's a bass, it should probably be a bit lower. I think I went a little too low, and now we're in the wrong key because I didn't. Yeah, so let's. C2, there we go. see 4 up here on that one. I'll leave that as the piano. That's kind of the default sound. For this one, I don't know. Let's pick a guitar. Why not? I'll pick this hard rock guitar for the melody without really knowing what it sounds like, but let's play it here. All right, so just a little something. Again, this doesn't have to be a Grammy-winning piece of music. Once you have the instructions here for your synthesizers to recreate, what you want to do is select all of them. You just hold down Shift and click on all 3 of the regions so they're lit up. And if you click on the top half, so it's got this little repeating kind of icon. We can click and drag to repeat this as a loop. So once you've got your 30 seconds here, I want everyone to drag it out so it repeats itself for a total of 3 times, and we'll go from there. Then we select it all. We can, again, hold down that Option key on the keyboard, click and drag, so that way right after the loops, we put the same instructions on the another 3 tracks down here. And doing the same kind of thing, I want you to pick 3 different sounds. So on these bottom ones, it cannot be any of the original sounds you used. So let's put this as an organ. Why not? Let's do a grand organ, because why not? We'll make the melody... No, don't have any there. I should have planned out some stuff beforehand. We'll have it be some synth. Oh, there's even more options. Tons of options here. I'm just going to say string cycles. No idea what that sounds like. I'm just kind of picking some stuff. And then this one up here, I'll make it be orchestral, brass, and I'll turn it into a, I don't know, some French horns. Why not? So now when we play through, it should be the same melody, but with 2 different sets of sounds. So I'm just going to play through it. Again, nothing super amazing, just, getting an idea of what's happening, trying to explore, making some MIDI notes, playing around with the different sounds, some of the different settings, recording yourself. That's the idea. If you want to play around with the instrument settings, you're more than welcome to, but make sure you've got the bare minimum right here. Again, your loop should be 30 seconds long, not my little 4-measure clip there. So just make sure that it's long enough and that your session should look something like this when you are done. When you're done, hop up to Share, and we are going to go right there and say Export Song to Disk. We'll select that, and then this will save it as an audio file that we can listen to. So I'm just going to put this on my desktop, and we'll say Export. I'm just going to leave it. Actually, I'm going to do this as a WAV file. It should be a WAV file, and we'll export. There we go, and we should just have our song. I didn't want to open music, but okay. I'm not going to play through the whole thing again. But then you have an audio file that you can share with people that's different from the MIDI. We don't need to export the MIDI for this session, but that is possible to do. We can set things around, export stuff in different ways, but that's more of a Logic thing. It's less of a GarageBand thing of making MIDI files and sharing it around. So we can explore that a little later if you want, but that's not really what we need for this assignment. So once you're done, you've got your audio file exported, put that in Canvas, and we'll listen to them all in class. I'm excited to see what y'all make. All right, that's all I've got for you today. If you have questions, let me know. Shoot me an email. Stop by my office hours. Ask me in class. There's plenty of ways to get around to me, so I'll just see you next time I see you.